Needles have something about them that can make us all feel a bit scared. What we want to do today is just talk to you about 7 key things that can really help in trying to make everyone feel as safe and okay as possible and get their vaccination done quickly and calmly. One of the most important and fundamental things that you can do to make sure that your child does feel safe and can trust you is to actually gently and developmentally appropriately be really honest with them about what's going to happen. One of the things that includes is not saying things like, when you have the needle, it won't hurt. Don't worry about it. It'll be really quick. So I guess what I'm trying to say is we be honest, but we do that in a container of safety. So we might say to kids, yeah, some kids do say it hurts a bit, but there's some things we can do to help with that. And what we have to do is get this done to keep you safe and to keep all your friends and family safe around you. Just take a couple of minutes and think about the words that you're going to use and how you're going to say this and how they're going to receive that. So it's about thinking about your child and perhaps their previous experiences. Maybe it's thinking about a time they've been really successful. If you know they're going to be distressed about this and find it hard, it might be about saying something like, we do have to go to the hospital next week and get your vaccination. And I know that you find needles really hard, but I also know that when you fell over at the athletics carnival last year and you thought you couldn't finish the race, you got back up and finished it because you're really brave and strong. And we need to bring some of that brave and strong into having the vaccination next week. So one of the things that's really important, especially when we think about our younger kids, but I guess really for any of us, is that we're able to explain things step by step. It gives kids, gives adults a sense of control when we know what's going to happen, where it's going to happen, when it's going to happen. So it might look something like this. On Tuesday, just after lunch, we're going to drive to the hospital and we need to catch a lift up to where they're giving the vaccinations, and we're going to get met there by some really kind nurses and staff who are going to help us. I'll have to do some paperwork, they'll check us in, and then we'll go into a special private room to have your vaccination done. So just stepping out the steps of what's going to happen. A bit of a vague timeline. Obviously, we can't promise things, but just providing kids with a bit of a scaffold for what's going to happen. Being able to contain the difficult thing that they're not looking forward to, that they're quite distressed about. So for really young kids, we would suggest keeping it very concrete. So if we're talking about really littler kids like 6-7-year-olds getting their vaccinations, we're going to say this is going to take less than 2 or 3 minutes, which is the same as watching a number block song on Netflix. Something that's really concrete and succinct. For older kids, we can be a little bit more broad, but we're going to let them know this is literally going to take a few seconds. If you're able to keep your arms still, which is your job, the nurses do this all the time. We're going to be able to get this done. A good tool can be by the time you count to 10. Take a big deep breath with me. And let's practice counting to 10, because by the time we do that, it's all going to be over. Just like grown-ups, we all like to feel that we have some sense of control and agency about what's happening to us. So in terms of a vaccination, some of the choices that you might be able to offer are, and it doesn't matter if they're older, if the carers are comfortable, would you like to sit on mum or dad or auntie's lap, or would you like to sit in the chair by yourself? A really important choice that's actually easy to offer with vaccinations is, would you prefer in your left or right arm? And quite often if they're right-handed, they're going to prefer to have it in their left and vice versa. You can ask whether they'd like to watch a YouTube video or use a book. So any ways that you can offer them a choice to allow them to feel that they've got some control, to just give us that couple of seconds to get that vaccination done. One of the things that really often helps, and it can sound a bit silly, but just is having a practice. So for example, if the strategy that we're going to use is deep breathing and counting to 5 or 10, actually practicing that a few times at home. If the strategy that we're going to use is distraction, picking the things that you're going to bring with you, having the favorite YouTube video lined up, having the book that they want to use with you, preparing and practicing what it is that are going to be the strategies that are going to help your child or young person to cope with their vaccination. Plan a treat to have together. After your vaccination, we're going to go have a swim at the beach. After your vaccination, we're going to go get an ice cream at your favourite ice cream shop. After your vaccination, we're going to go do whatever it is. Perhaps your child again could be offered some choices about what that treat is, within reason. But it's really obviously helpful for everyone to have something that they can look forward to, that when they do this really difficult thing, there's something really fun and pleasant and affirming to say to them, well done, you were brave, even though you were scared. You did a great job, you did the hard thing, and now you get a reward for that.